Hello and welcome to Dawn Chorus Writes, a Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction and audiofic. This is a new series, The Princess and the Cheese, and it's written by Jheqia, narrated by Dawn myself. Hello! And it is also a writing prompt by Alicia, so massive shout out to her too. Massive shout out and thank you very much for the commissioned artwork by Arcataza in the thumbnail. So make sure you go and give her some love. All her information is listed down below. Make sure you give Jheqia some love for writing it. And make sure you give me some love by smashing that like button. Comment down below what you think of it and what will happen in the next chapter. And make sure you subscribe so you do not miss out on this one and other series and other one-shots that are happening at the moment. And enjoy. Chapter 5. Adrien, this is Plagg. They made it back to school on time, but Adrien was frustrated at the lost opportunity to kiss Marinette, and he was sure he could hear angry rumblings from inside her purse as his Kwami growled about his bad luck. It was impossible for him to concentrate in class with her sitting behind him. He was sure his neck was permanently red, and she had a perfect view of it. Every scratch of a pencil, every rustle of fabric or paper behind him made him long to turn round to watch her. Other than that, his mind wandered. Was she struggling with a chemistry quiz? Was that sharp intake of breath her getting a note from Alia about him? Was she tapping her lips with her pencil? Oh, her lips. That led to a wonderful daydream of a perfect date with Marinette and kissing under the stars, when a loud cough right in his ear startled him out of his reverie. Miss Mendeléus gave him a stern glare and tapped his quiz paper fiercely whilst Chloe muttered imprecations under her breath. He shot the teacher an apologetic look and turned to his work, hoping he would get a chance to talk to Marinette again between classes. That turned out to be impossible. Why had he never noticed how popular Marinette was before? Helping Mylene design posters for a new anti-litter campaign, talking video games with Max and Markov, designing a decal for Alex's new helmet, discussing student council problems between classes. No wonder she was always tired. Between all that and Alia standing guard like a bulldog at her side, Adrien didn't have an opportunity to talk to her alone before school was over. He did manage to catch her eye a few times, and she would smile and wave at him shyly. Alia, on the other hand, shot him several appraising looks and smirks, nudging Marinette in the side and whispering in her ear. They had one more class, and they confirmed for sure they would be meeting after school. It had to be now. He walked over to the two girls. "Hey, Marinette! Alia?" "Hey, sunshine!" Ali replied, a knowing grin on her face. "Did you guys have fun on your lunch date?" "Alia!" Marinette's eyes widened and she flushed a bright red. "We were working on our project and I invited Adrien over for lunch since Papa has been making quiche today and I know he likes it. It wasn't, well, you know." She brushed a strand of hair behind her ear and glanced over at him from under her lashes. "So cute." Alia raised her eyebrows at her friend and then eyed him speculatively. Whatever she saw made her grin widen even further. "Sure. Well, I'm going to catch up with Nino before class. Call me later, girl." She stepped away after a final nudge to Marinette's shoulders. "Hey," he said, rubbing the back of his neck. "I feel like we kind of left things in a weird place after lunch." "Really?" "Yeah, not in a bad way, just, why did this have to be so difficult? He could spill out all sorts of things to Ladybug over the 2 years and he couldn't bring himself to ask Marinette? When all he could think about for the last few hours had been how much he wanted to kiss her? Maybe Plagg was right, and I am really hopeless without the suit. Her rosy lips trembled. Her eyes grew dark as tears peeked out at the corners. It's okay, she says softly, turning away. I understand. We're good, Adrien. She sniffled slightly. We're still friends. Don't worry about it. She was leaving. She thought he was regretting almost kissing her. No! He cried and grabbing her wrist. Marinette, please wait. That's not what I... She had turned back to him when a scream of rage tore through the air. Adrien heard the classroom windows creak. Acting on instinct, he tackled Marinette to the ground just as the windows beside them exploded outwards in a wave of heat, protecting her with his own body from the rain of deadly shards. Du Pang Chang, get your filthy paws off my Adriens. As his heart pounded and adrenaline raced through his veins, Adrien became hyper-aware of his surroundings, including the soft, sweet smell warmth of Marinette underneath him. His eyes locked with hers, but instead of seeing her blush or looked frightened, her face hardened with determination. He rolled off her and leapt to his feet, staring down his classmate and former friend. In case you hadn't noticed, Chloe, I was the one who was holding her. That is scorn to you. Chloe's whole body was wreathed in dancing flames of every shade, from her red boots to her flickering orange suit to her brilliantly yellow skin, and topped with traditional ponytail that shifted in an ombre of white to blue. She was a living embodiment of the old line, "Hell has no fury like a woman scorned," thought Adrien, though Adrien doubted she would have recognized the reference. Just leave Marinette alone, Chloe, he said sternly, stepping between the two girls to defend her. He couldn't transform in the open like this, and even if Plagg had been with him, there was no way he was going to let Marinette know that he was Cat Noir. Not when it put her at risk from Shadowmoth. I was never your anything, and you trying to hurt Marinette isn't likely to change my mind. You'll change your mind when she's a pile of cinders, Scorn growled. Now, be a good boy and get out of my way. Hey, Chloe, you need to cool down. Marinette threw herself in front of Adrien, squeezing 2 water bottles over the akumatized girl. Scorn screamed as the flames hissed and spat, a whole left side extinguished by the attack. Come on! Adrien grabbed Marinette's hand and took off along the causeway, all but dragging her down the stairs. He ducked into the maintenance room, slamming and locking the door behind them. He pulled her down the short flight of steps and around the corner out of sight of the door. I doubt she'll think to look for us in here, he panted, holding Marinette tightly against him. Too dirty for her. Are you okay? I'm fine. He could feel her heart pounding wildly, like a bird determined to escape its cage. It was very brave of you to defend me like that, but... Adrien? You're bleeding! Her cool hands turned his head and ran delicately over the shallow slice across the back of his neck. He hadn't even felt it happen, but her cool fingers felt good against his burnt skin, like aloe on a sunburn. Don't worry about it, he said, trying to reassure her and hoping that she wasn't afraid of blood. The little ladybugs will fix it soon enough. I just need to make sure you're safe. No! She looked up at him, eyes bright and determined. He blinked. What do you mean? He tightened his hold around her. I can't just... Adrien, I need you to listen to me, she said, her voice steady and calm. Her stuttering was gone, replaced by a voice of command. His head swam for an instant with a strange feeling of having heard those words, that tone, before, but not with his name, and not from her. She pushed slightly away from him. There is something far more important than me that needs to be kept safe. But I need you to promise never to tell anyone what I'm about to show you. Can you do that for me? He nodded. What do you need me to do, Marinette? She opened her purse. Come out, Plagg. Adrien's eyes opened wide as his Kwami hovered in the air between them before settling on her shoulders. What's going on, princess? He asked, shifting his eyes warily back and forth between them. No one is supposed to know about me. Good. Plagg was keeping up his charade of not knowing Adrien, so at least Marinette couldn't be put at risk this way. Adrien? This is Plagg. He's... She paused for a moment before continuing. He is the creature that gives Cat Noir his powers. He won't hurt you. Much, Plagg rasped, showing an unnecessary number of teeth. Be nice, she said, and quelled the Kwami with a glance. How did she do that? Remember I told you at lunch that Cat Noir stopped by from time to time to visit me? Yeah, so he what? Dropped off his kitten for a play date? He could hear Plagg growling from here. That's for you calling me kitten in front of Marinette, you floating stomach. She chuckled. No, he came to visit me today, but I don't know Cat's real identity. He's going to need Plagg here to fight Scorn. Ladybug needs him. She looked up at him with a worried look on her face. Adrien, Chloe wants me. Most likely she will leave you alone. Would you be willing to help cover for Plagg long enough to get out of the school and find Cat Noir? I can lure Chloe away so you two can get out of here safely. I hope. Adrien stared at her in awe. She was always surprising him. Even without the miraculous, Marinette was still a hero. No matter how nervous, his everyday ladybug rose to the challenge. She is just so... Overwhelmed by too many emotions, he grabbed her shoulders and pulled her into a kiss. She stiffened in surprise as his lips met hers, but then he felt her mold herself against him. Her delicate hands clutched at his overshirt as his hands swept up to cradle her face. It was as if time slowed and the world collapsed on itself until it was just the two of them, bound together heart to heart. Ahem! Plagg coughed right next to them. I hate to break up your moment, but there is an Akuma to fight, and I need to find my kitten. Adrien pulled away just long enough to growl. Go away, little kitty, before kissing her again. His heart hammered against his ribs for an entirely different reason than before, and all he wanted to do was to stay wrapped in this moment with her forever. Nice try, Blondie, Plagg snapped harshly. But didn't you forget something? Like that walking fire extinguisher ad out there is after your girlfriend. Adrien felt Marinette's sigh against his lips. Oh, he's right, she murmured, pulling slowly away. You need to help Plagg get out of here so he can find Cat. She took a deep breath and tugged her jacket down to straighten it. Let's get going. She made to head up the stairs, but he grabbed her hand. Marinette, will you go out with me on Saturday? He couldn't let her leave with any doubts as to what that kiss had meant to him. She was everything. Her smile lit up her face like a lighthouse. I love to. Then she tugged his hand and together they crept up the stairs. After listening at the door for several minutes and hearing nothing, Adrien carefully peeked out into the courtyard. Small fires were burning around the open area, the scattered remains of the fight of the students and faculty. She's gone, he whispered. He looked at her seriously. Please, stay here and safe, Marinette. I'll make sure Plagg gets to Cat Noir in time. I promise. He kissed her swiftly on the forehead before opening his overshirt. Hide in here, little buddy. Plagg safely tucked away in his usual pocket, Adrien made a mad dash across the courtyard for the exit. He knew in a few minutes he was going to be fighting Scorn. He knew he was going to be facing Ladybug with Marinette's kiss fresh on his lips. But all he could think about was keeping Marinette safe. Because he, Adrien Agreste, had a date on Saturday with the most wonderful girl in the world. He was a knight for his princess and he would make sure he would always return to her. Plagg, claws out! Thank you for listening to part 5. They kissed. Oh, that was so sweet. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you go and send Jheqia some love. All her information is linked down below. Make sure you comment down below what you think of this part and what will happen in the next one. And make sure you subscribe so you do not miss out on this series and the B-side, Plagg Stay Out, at the same time. And make sure you hit that notification button as well so you do not miss out on any treats. And I will speak to you soon. I hope you're good. Bye.